Believe it or not, bosses aren't here to trip you up, and there's plenty they wish you knew. Sometimes they just don't get around to telling you. Other times it seems awkward to spell it out, but we've identified 15 things that your boss isn't telling you that you need to know. Number 1. They don't really care how many hours you clock. If you think you'll just outstay your work colleagues and be first in line for a promotion, then you can think again. Your boss isn't worried about the time you clock in or out when the work is done well or you're getting the results they require. In fact, it might impress them if you're ultra efficient and complete your work and have a full and happy life outside of the office. At the end of the day, that'll make you a more inspiring person to have on the team. Number 2. They don't care who's to blame, they care about who can solve it. It can be a knee-jerk reaction to start unpacking what went wrong and who's to blame, but that's not what your boss cares about, at least not until the problem is solved. Mistakes happen and problems crop up, that's life. The person who can solve snags when this happens is the one the boss really cares about. Rising to the challenge and jumping to action are far more admirable than winning at the blame game, and your boss wishes you knew that. Number 3. Asking for help is expected and not looked down upon. There's no shame in checking in with a superior or asking for advice before you set off on a task. It's a far better strategy than asking forgiveness later. It's quite normal for someone to be guided through a task the first time they perform it, and it's cost-saving in the long run. Asking questions is a sign of diligence and humility to get the job done right. Drop the act of pretending you know everything under the sun. You'll save your boss money on mistakes and save yourself a lot of stress, too. Number 4. Just doing your job isn't enough to become more valuable. Being the star at exactly what's expected isn't that impressive. Sure, it's great to meet the mark, but in the competitive 21st century job market, if you're looking for promotions, then you'll need to be proactive and look for ways to innovate and anticipate the current or future needs of your employer. Ideation CEO Charles Lee wrote an article called "Doing Your Job is Not Enough," and he shares these valuable insights on the topic. Going through life by doing the minimal and being an exemplary employee should never be anyone's goal. We have to thrive beyond what's expected, fine-tune our ability to think clearly through the noise and distractions around us, and speak up by producing great work that we've created to better our lives and the world we live in. Number 5. There's always room for a raise. If you're increasing profit for your company, then you are an asset. In this case, there'll always be a little wiggle room for a raise. There are 2 main ways of employees driving profit. One is bringing in more money, and the other is saving money. Once you've proven success in these areas and have the results to show for it, it won't be a problem asking for a periodic raise. Be sure to have the facts on hand, though. According to Forbes magazine, there's no need to bring your increased cost of living into your raise negotiations. CEO or PR firm Inkhouse Beth Monahan summarizes it well. The best approach to asking for a raise is to focus on deserving one versus needing one. Too often, people argue that a raise is important because of very real costs in their lives. However, an employer is looking to give raises to people based on performance. Number 5. It's fine to challenge their views. You don't have to be a total yes man to impress your boss. A little healthy questioning builds a robust business. And we're not talking about being one of those devil's advocate addicts that has to constantly ask, but what about XYZ, to even the most outlandish scenario to everyone else's annoyance. Be sure your questions are researched and backed up if you want to impress, and you're not just taking flying kicks at things to sound smart. Your boss will appreciate professionally researched and thoughtful considerations. After all, good leaders build strong teams around them for this reason. Number 7. Your attitude is just as important as your actual work. No matter how great your work is, if you're a drain to have on the team, you won't impress. An example of where attitude matters most is at online retail giant Zappos. The late company founder Tony Hsieh proudly announced that no matter how perfect a candidate's resume might be, if they don't align with his company's culture, they won't get the job. Same goes for existing employees. If they don't fit in with the company's positive and peaceful environment, then they will get the chop no matter their results. Sounds harsh, but we can definitely see his point. That's why, despite his tragic passing in 2020, he remains such an inspiration. If you want to know some more about Zappos' inspiring business model, listen to it here on Audible. And don't forget to claim your free book by heading to alux.com/freebook. Number 8. Bosses wouldn't give you constructive feedback if they didn't want you to succeed. When you get the opportunity to receive constructive feedback from your boss, take it with open arms. Feedback is only given when someone cares about your growth. Take it as a sign your boss wants to see you grow and succeed. It's not a diss or them being mean or anything like that. This is someone stopping long enough to invest in your self-improvement, and that's valuable for any future billionaire. Number 9. Bosses want you to identify problems before they unfold. Have you ever been in a debrief meeting after there was a mishap at work and someone proudly says, "I knew this was going to happen"? Well, if you have, then we can assure you that your boss is wondering who this person is and how soon can they fire them. If you anticipated that something was going to be a disaster and you didn't remedy it, then what the heck are you doing in this role? There are no points for problem spotting if you do nothing about it, but there are major points for problem solving before the problem hits. Number 10. They want to know your allegiance lies with the company. According to the 2018 study from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the typical employee stays at a job for just over 4 years. But even if that's true, your boss shouldn't be made to feel like there's a ticking timeline to your departure. While you're working where you're working, be sure your boss knows your loyalty lies with them. Show this by being involved in team building, buying into company culture, and show that you have some sort of competitive spirit toward their competition. In other words, if you work at Pepsi, no one wants to know that you prefer Coke. Number 11. Bosses want to know when a job is challenging or if a deadline is unrealistic. The worst time to tell a boss a deadline is unrealistic is a few hours before. That's not the time they can save face with a client. That's the time they must go and grovel and explain how their company isn't experienced enough to deliver on a deadline. Setting realistic deliverables and timelines is key to delivering an excellent product on time, and part of what you're employed to do in any role is to know what is and isn't doable. Your boss needs you to be able to communicate these things to them long before they turn into a problem, so there's still time to fix it and deliver to the client. And Aluxers, be sure to watch our video 15 Principles for an Excellent Work Ethic for more ways to be a great employee. Number 12. Bosses want team players. No person is an island, and if you don't play well with others, you're going to struggle in the 21st century job market. Bosses don't need an evil sidekick spewing venom about everyone in the office, but rather people who are part of what fans the flames of everyone on the team and makes the company more successful. So why does teamwork matter so much? Teamwork brings unity to the workplace. It promotes new perspectives with differing opinions, and it creates constant learning and encourages efficiency. All in all, teamwork is a win. Number 13. They want you to develop your strengths. Richard Branson said it best with his approach to people development. Train people well enough so they can leave. Treat them well enough so they don't want to. A good boss is happy to help you learn, upskill, and develop your strengths. It's cheaper to redeploy team members to a new position within the business than bring in a completely new hire. Leaders know that investing in people is one way to create a custom fit for their project's needs, as well as promote loyalty and a longer employment tenure. So feel confident when you go to ask your boss to attend a conference or a training course. They are more than happy to support your growth. Number 14. Bosses want employees to celebrate the success of others. As your colleagues sign a new account or break a sales record, it shows great work culture to celebrate their success. Not only does it show that your loyalty lies with the company and not just your own interests, but also that you're a great team player. After all, a win for the company is a win for everyone if you are part of the team. Number 15. Bosses want you to succeed. The best reflection of a good boss is a team of successful individuals. This shows they're doing their job of leading in the right direction. If they have a team of people under them flailing about, or worse yet, stagnating, then it would be a terrible showcase of their leadership qualities. Self-assured, self-motivated, and successful workers are the signs of a great boss. Your boss isn't jealous of your success. Your success means they can go to the Bahamas or get their kid a pony. So go forth and kick ass at whatever you're doing. So Alexers, what's the most surprising realization you came to about one of your bosses? Please share with us in the comments. We always love hearing from you. Now, you stuck with us until the end, so of course, there is a bonus. Whatever the industry, there's always an acceptable dress code. Perhaps it's jeans and t-shirts, or maybe it's a full-fitted suit. Either way, the devil's in the details. T-shirt, for example, covers a broad category of garment. Well-fitted, clean, moderately new, and without distasteful graphics are the first non-negotiables that come to mind. Further to that, perhaps muted tones, nicely laundered, and with a contemporary hairstyle are all what sets you apart as a professional versus a couch potato. What we're getting at is that wearing the right garment alone is only the start of dressing the part, and your boss doesn't want to feel embarrassed or worried about what you're going to wear in front of important clients. Thanks for watching, Alexers. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Please leave us a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos every day.